to episode 2 of the Pro Evolution Soccer Association Football Podcast. I am Kevin, I'm one of your CMs, and sitting next to me this time is Natchai.
Hey, not on Skype this time, guys.
Yeah, we're not on Skype this time. We're just recording off of a camera instead. So we'll get nice things eventually, and it'll all be good. We're also in a slightly big room, so if we sound slightly echoey, I apologise again. Anyway, welcome to season 2020. Is it season 8, I believe? Yes, must be if it was 2013.
Yeah, 2013, yeah.
Season 8. 8 seasons, wow.
Not even counting the before beta.
Oh yes, there was a time before beta. Which was... no.
if you guys were there...
Wow, that was a dark time full of demons, and the world was formed.
You know how tournaments now are hard?
Yeah, you guys like to tell us about how I get knocked out of tournaments. Yeah. Oh, you have no idea of how it used to be.
So you've come a long way.
It's like golden times compared to what it was before. Anyway, so there's been an awful lot since the last time we talked to you. And I guess we can go through some of that. But first of all, how did your 2019 season go?
It went pretty good, actually. I started the season out being somewhere around 14th or something. But I was finally in the PES Cup, so I was really focusing on getting the PES Cup itself. I eventually managed to do that, finally. So now
You've almost got a full set now, haven't you?
Yeah, I just need the Amateur Cup, but really, who wants the Amateur Cup?
Well, amateurs do.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's like the most difficult cup to get, because you can only really get it. You only really have opportunity to get it whilst you're at that really low level.
I have to get relegated 5 times in order to have a shot at it.
Yeah, we can't reset you, I'm afraid.
Nope.
No. So it's... tune in over the next 10 weeks as Natchai deliberately tries to get himself relegated.
It won't happen, guys.
What happens if you can't get relegated? What happens if you try to get relegated and can't? Oh, it's a bug! Oh.
It's a bug.
It's a bug. I tried things to get myself deliberately relegated and I didn't.
Opposing teams are too weak. It's a bug. Fix it, please.
Yeah. Yeah, too weak. I'm playing against these 1 and 2 star teams and they're not beating me.
What's happening?
What's up with that? Anyway, so I mean, the big thing we had over the last few days really was the onset of hackers in the game.
Dun, dun, dun.
We kind of knew this was going to happen eventually because it's a game. Using Flash on Facebook. It's going to happen. I mean, we were sort of prepared for that. Thank you to those of you who actually messaged us and gone, hey, look, there's this going on, and please think about that. And it was really nice to see that there was a lot of people who are genuinely concerned about the game, and that it was angry that these people have done it, and it was actually quite nice to see. It's like, oh, please sort this out. Anyway,
what an injustice this is.
I know, and the fact is, it is an injustice, because it's an injustice not just against us here and Konami. It's an injustice against you guys, because they are the benefit that they get from, or they got, I should say, from those gold players and those coins, or those resources, directly affected
your results.
Yeah. Now, it's because of that, what happens next is a little bit trickier than perhaps we'd like it to be. Because ultimately, something will be done about these teams. They're banned at the moment. So they can't access their account. Or at least they shouldn't be able to, the ones that the team found. Yeah. We'll obviously keep looking through. Don't start hunting around for people's teams and going, they've got lots of gold players, they must be a hacker, because they might well not be.
Exactly.
They might well not be. I mean, we saw a team the other day that was so obvious, because it had the absolute ideal player you would have in
every position.
It was Adrian, who's actually one of the Spanish community managers for your guys, and he's one of the people who'll be doing the Spanish podcast eventually when we get around to sorting that out. But he showed me a team that's above him in the league. It's winning the league, and it's got Messi up front and Ronaldo on the wing, and it's got every star person globally. Ibrahimovic is the other striker. There's just so much there. This is if you could cherry pick like an international 11, it would be that. And like the bench is sillily strong as well. I think I've got like Rooney or somebody as the substitute striker. It's so obvious. Those guys will be dealt with. How they're going to be dealt with? Oh, we've got lots of ideas of how to deal with it.
Yeah. Because obviously banning is just
banning
too
is
simple.
all well and good, but I mean the team's still there.
Yeah.
And we can't take them out now because we're in the middle of a league. We're in the middle of a season. So obviously then you'd have to go back and change all the results for that, which would change the entire division round. And then you'd have a team that's missing. So you'd have to like force all the results, the future results against that team to be a certain. They'll have to be even, like 3-0 or something like that. As a 3-0 loss. Whatever happens, and we don't know how many teams there are. At least me and Natchai don't. So because we're not involved in that, just to remember, we don't code it. So people forget we don't code it. So there's this stuff that we don't see. So that has to be changed. And we can't boot them out yet. I suspect but there will be sanctions. I believe that's the official word that we use in these situations with football. There will be sanctions imposed against them because they say just banning them outright is all well and good. But then they might just set up an account and start again somewhere else. Mm-hmm. No, we want that team to still be about, but with the shame, the unremovable shame.
Match fixing is a crime, guys.
Do not accept it. Demand a genuine match from your video player. No, wait. That's a different message entirely. PS piracy is a crime. Do not accept this. You
wouldn't download a car, would you?
You wouldn't download a car, no. You wouldn't. Stealing Messi is a crime. No, there'll be stuff dumped to them. I mean, we were suggested we boot them back to tutorial. Who was it who suggested that? Somebody mentioned about it. I'll find it eventually. I think it was Enzo actually. Enzo said, I think maybe Enzo who said we should put them back down to tutorial. And my response was to that's all well and good, but then they'd get a free pair of boots. I don't even want them to get a free pair of boots. I want them. They punish. They will be punished, and they will be all the English punish heads. They shall be. But also, so you guys know. I mean, there needs to be some amusement from this. But also, I mean, the other fact is that you mentioned, I believe, in the update was about the servers.
Yeah, the way that these guys hacked into the game was actually causing loading issues on our databases because they were essentially altering stuff in the database itself. So
they're hammering on the database even when it wasn't really supposed to be in use. So
that was causing a lot of loading issues. We're not saying that it was entirely the fault of the hackers. Of course it wasn't. But it was definitely something that contributed to all of the loading problems that we've been seeing.
To put it another way, as soon as the team closed the gap and that exploit hole is actually closed now. As soon as they did that, the actual load demands on the server went really down. So they were causing you problems in even ways that you didn't even think they were causing you problems. So yes, so they will be dealt with mercilessly and viciously, but humorously.
And creatively.
And creatively, yeah.
So you can enjoy it with us.
Yeah, it's. I think we deserve a laugh out of this.
Yeah.
Right. So what other things have been going on? Well, there was the revamp of gifting.
Yay!
Gifting got revamped again.
Yeah.
We knew about it this time, which was good. But that changed. Because with the one coin experiment, the team decided they wanted to see what it would be like with one coin in the game, and there were limits imposed. And those limits aren't there anymore.
No, those limits got removed. Thankfully.
Thankfully, yes.
Because the limits were kind of low.
Yeah. So there is no longer a limit on the amount of gifts you can receive. However, so the actual gifts you get are sort of chosen randomly, and there's a percentage chance you can get this, that, and the other. One coin is still here.
Yeah, and it has a big percentage, so you will be seeing a lot of one coin gifts.
It would make sense that the lowest item you can get, and essentially the lowest item you can get, is the one coin. I mean, there's one of other things, but the one coin is the most limited in terms of value. That is the most common item. It makes sense that the lowest one is the most common item. But other things got added, didn't they? Because friendship points got added. Mm-hmm. You can now be gifted friendship in a nice box with a bow. And
you can feel the warmth radiating.
Yeah,
from
exactly. But so scouting tickets are still in there, and boots are still in there. I think you can get, so it's 1 coin, 10 coin, 20 coins, and 100 coins.
Yeah.
But all of different values. Yeah. So there's pretty much everything in there, really.
Yeah. Everything that you were able to get, you're still able to get with the addition of friend points.
Indeed. Actually, there was a couple of questions about that. So that's for everyone who's basically asking, well, why do I get the 1 coin gift still? You do. So that'll be a part of it from now on.
Yeah.
It surprises me in a way that it wasn't. 1 coin didn't exist before.
Yeah.
In a way. But hey, it makes sense with the large friend numbers again for people. I think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I think the largest amount of coins, the smallest amount of coins that you could receive before the gifting revamp was, I don't know, 10 coins, or more, or 100.
It was 10. There was 10s and 20s. I don't think 100 existed, or if it did, it was like a super rare.
Yeah, might have been.
It was a bit like boots, and it was a super rare. And I know that you're more likely to get 100 now than when we started. So. I mean, it's obviously 100 coins is still one of the rares. Boots are obviously super rare because they're essentially 1,000 coins.
Yeah.
But some people saying we should have contracts in there. It's like, how would you even do that? It was like, yeah, I would like something that can be worth up to about 25,000 coins as a thing that I get in my gifts. Yeah, I'd like 25,000 in gifts given to me. That would be lovely, but I don't think it's going to happen. Somehow.
You only get gifts like that when you have a sugar daddy.
Yeah. We don't have one of those.
No. Damn it.
We're missing out on something.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Aren't we supposed to have like a Russian benefactor?
Yeah, we need to add into our version of the game some sort of foreign takeover of your club scenario. It is in other games, apparently, but there's no other games, so perhaps that would be great, in that you have a special mode in Pro Evolution Soccer where you get like a vast load of coins, I don't know, 100,000 coins, and about 500 scouting tickets, and you've got to make a super team.
Yeah.
Or you essentially get 11 golds, which you can pick one from every position.
Yeah.
You have to pick whichever one's your best or what have you. And then you have to get from, I don't know, Division 2, let's say, to Division 1 and win the championship in 3 seasons. A special mode.
Yeah.
Foreign investor mode.
Foreign investor mode.
And if you don't, you're sacked and you lose all your progress. That'd be a new gameplay mode for somebody in the game. Konami, if you're listening, and you are, that's a new suggestion from us. Okay, one of the sort of sadder elements is that the achievements are still a bit buggy.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. We keep telling our developers about it.
Yeah,
but obviously we had much more major issues to deal with.
Yeah, every time it comes around to dealing with the achievements, something major comes up which sort of gets in the way and sort of knocks it back down the queue again, unfortunately. The only good thing about the achievements, and there is a good aspect, is that some are bugged in your favour.
Yeah.
So there'll be ones that you shouldn't be able to collect again, which are the ones for very basic wins and goals or first victory and stuff, those seem to reset themselves. So you can essentially claim those every season. So that's the good aspect of that. The bad aspect of that, of course, is that the ones for 100 points in the season and things like that I'm going through at the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to log out and log back in again on those, by the way. I've found. I think others have found as well that if you've not got that, or you've not got if you've not got your rewards, what you think you should have for cups and leagues, sometimes if you log out and then log back in again, you'll get another pop-up, or they'll be in your gifts to claim. Mm-hmm. I've seen that before, so yeah. So hopefully soon. People have been asking, will we have new achievements?
Probably in the future, yeah.
In the future, I would have thought. I think it would be very nice if we had an achievement whereby it would check if you like a certain Facebook page. If you liked one of the official Pro Evolution Soccer pages, mm-hmm. Association football pages, and you did that.
Yeah.
Then you would get some achievement points. Heck, you could put one in for the main Pro Evolution Soccer franchise page.
Yeah.
And Konami as well. And you get
like all the pages.
If you're found to like these, then you will get experience points and coins and lovely things, and chocolates and flowers and personal messages from Konami. No, you won't get that.
No, maybe a cardboard box though.
Yeah, maybe a cardboard box, inside which is all of Konami. They'll burst forth from the box and then eat you out of house and home. You'll come, yeah. Your parents will come back one day, and then you'll find this entire development studio has just taken up residence in your house, and then you will have to explain it. But on the good side, you'll have some XP and some coins.
Yeah.
So we'll think about doing that.
Yeah, we'll think.
But I think that'd be really good, actually. I don't know what other ones we'd do. I think as the game progresses, you'll probably have expanded ones than what we have currently.
Maybe an achievement on completing certain tours and stuff like that.
Yeah. That is a question that we have had, which is like, what do you get when you complete tour?
Not a lot at the moment.
Not a lot at the moment. Apart from, you actually get a very nice pop-up which pronounces you king of the area.
Yeah. That's about it, I
You're
guess.
king of the area. King of the world, ma! Or a percentage of it.
Could be like the Queen of Britain.
Could be. Then you've got the Commonwealth as well, so that would be beneficial, I guess. Yeah. You have to be dragged out to various locations and things, though, and have to do lots of engagements, which you probably don't want to do. So there are downsides to this. But hey, King of Europe, you'd have to move to Brussels, all of you. I'm sure there'll be. People do like Brussels. You make it sound like the people who actually have to live in Brussels must have some sort of terrible time. Not that we know anything about living in Brussels. Sigh. Okay, so other stuff that was discussed. Tutorial bug now seems to be mostly fixed, apart from really weird circumstances where you're still in it.
Yeah.
If you are still in tutorial for some reason, please let us know.
Yeah.
There should also be a button where you can actually report a bug if you're stuck in that, and I highly recommend you press that, because that will send an error report to the dev team, and they'll know, so they'll be able to see exactly where you are and what's causing your blockage or what have you, and we'll hopefully get it sorted soon. And we know a lot of you have been suffering from not getting the boots.
Yeah. Because
the fix didn't get the boots. We can't give you boots. This is the unfortunate thing. We can't give you boots at present. But it's being worked on, and I think it may well have been even fixed, actually, judging by an email earlier, but we have yet to confirm this at the time of recording.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're still experiencing the tutorial bug, please contact me or Kevin in a private message, either on the Facebook or on the forum or wherever. Yeah.
If you sit on the Facebook, then you've got a bigger chance of us seeing it, I guess, because it was both of us to go through that. So That's the other question. What does What does K and N signify on the Facebook? That's a clue as to who's talking to you at that time, either me or Natchai.
Yeah.
So hence you might get like two comments from PES underneath each other, and one will say K and one will say N because we want to add something on or want to make our own comment on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you may end up with like a massive conversation with like the two of us, despite the fact that we're on opposite sides of the desk. In which case, that's amusement for you. Let's see, what else was there? The double energy. Double energy! We announced it on the last podcast. It came. After a slight delay.
Yeah.
And then it went.
Yeah, just like we said it would.
Yes.
It lasted for 7 days.
Lasted for 7 days, as we said it would.
As you said it would.
Had a tiniest of breaks for the new season change.
Yeah.
Which is kind of understandable.
Yeah.
With everything switching over. And yeah, we're getting lots of questions saying, where's 10 energy? Well, why is it 10 energy now? And it's because it always was 10 energy.
Yeah.
It was just for that slow length of time. However, we have the machine now. Because you put it together.
Yeah.
Very kindly.
Yeah. I need to fill up the flux capacitor again. But it's an arduous task. It really is, because it means that I have to go to like farm grounds and contact all these different kinds of people, and so.
Well, this is the thing, you see, because you've got the flux capacitor. You've got a flux capacitor, but you didn't fork out for one with Mr. Fusion on it.
No. Yeah.
Why didn't you get the Mr. Fusion edition? We could have saved everybody this necessity of you going to foreign lands and securing plutonium. This is not very.
To me, it just seemed.
You just want to go see the world, don't you? This is the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. I'll think about it in the future if I can get the upgraded version. But
yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure that when special occasions come round, you will see double energy again.
Yeah.
Or energy of sped up to some degree.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that the flux capacitor also tends to recharge better when our community is active and supportive. So it basically runs on a lot of things that we don't really know, but also a bit on love. I
did wonder why you hardwired it into the game engine. You ruined 2 shirts doing it with all the grease and oil and stuff, but hey, if it sorts us out in the long run, that's brilliant. Okay. Hey, Natchai.
Hey, Kevin.
When are we going to have new tours, Natchai?
Very soon, Kevin.
Because that's a question we get asked a lot, funnily enough, because we've had France.
We've had South America, well, kind of Brazil.
More pro-Brazil, South America. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there was Europe, which I finally completed the other day. Finally completed Europe. That's the only reason I even know that it says you're king of the area, is because I finally completed Europe the other day. Because I've just been going for it, so just normal, and as and when I can. And, of course, a lot of you have completed both South America and Europe, obviously, and are mostly through France now. Soon. What will they be? Something European again, most likely.
Yeah.
In fact, it's highly likely it's Germany, but but it may not be. But Germany is definitely one of the ones we're going to do down the line.
Yeah, especially with the Champions League final.
Yes,
stuff.
especially with Champions League final. We want to do something for that, this German renaissance of football. So we want to touch on that if we can. South American people, before you start throwing stuff at us, we will return to South America at some point down the line. But obviously, it involves getting a lot of team data that's probably less readily available to Konami than the European ones, assets as well and things. So, but very soon.
Ready the bratwurst.
Yes. All of that stuff. Ready your schnitzel. Okay. Now, we did actually have questions this time. Some of them were slightly confusing questions. I think what was the very first question we got asked?
Oh, when we're getting married for some
Yeah,
reason.
no, he's not my type. Sorry.
And I have a girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend. He's fine.
Yeah. Really, guys, I don't need...
Forever alone. Oh, God. Why did you say this to me? I'm fine. Yeah, no, we are married by PES-Association football.
Yeah. And we're conjoined at the desk.
Yeah. If we divorce, I get all the attackers. Yeah, you take all the coins. Like we said, there was a comment actually on the Facebook page, which kind of linked in with that the other day, and someone was saying, "Oh, I play this game more than I see my own girlfriend." And I responded to them along the lines of, "Well, girlfriends need energy too."
Yeah.
Energy too, and coins, lots of coins that I found in my time. They need lots of coins. Just be very glad that they don't require scouting tickets, because otherwise it would just be in utter trouble. All of us. So, speaking regarding new stuff, RogueFan1 says, "Where is the Barcelona formation?" Which is a growing common question. Where is the Barcelona formation?
Yeah.
It's not there at the moment.
No.
It's not. It's not an easy. It's probably not an answer you're happy with, but no, it's not there at the moment, and it will be added in.
Yeah. I think people were confused because at the Real Madrid node, they actually got to play against Barcelona and win the emblem.
Yes, you won the emblem, but they didn't get
get
a formation, and yet there are formations for lower teams.
Yeah.
There will be a Barcelona formation.
Mm-hmm. It's coming.
It'll come, and so this means that you will assumedly get to play Barcelona again at some point down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona will come back for revenge against you all.
And their new jerseys.
Which one will they look like now?
They have the home jerseys are pretty much the same, but their away jerseys are now striped yellow and red to signify the Catalan flag. Yeah.
That'll go down really well with Madrid, I'm guessing. I'm guessing. Okay. Loyalty bonus cards. Specifically, will loyalty bonuses change, and have they got worse? And the answer is no.
They change every 11 days.
Yeah, if you miss out on your card, then you won't get the same card again. You'll get a different card. Mm-hmm. There's cards with boots. There's the top prize. There's one with transfers, one with 1,000 coins. The gold one, the gold player one, I believe you get for your first time in the game.
Yeah, that's possible.
Everyone got that, of course, when we introduced the loyalty bonus. So I think everyone just went, well, why didn't I get it again? Well, I think that's because that was your first one.
I actually didn't get it.
You didn't get the...
No, because I wasn't able to log in consecutively.
You didn't log in the game for 11 consecutive days?
No, yeah. I was away. I couldn't. It pained my heart.
It pained your heart that you didn't get the gold player.
Yeah. I wanted to go on Facebook and yell, "Where's my gold ticket?" But then I figured I would just be...
you have to answer yourself, and then it'd be a paradox.
Yeah.
And as a person with a flux capacitor, you know full well about paradoxes, it's a bad thing.
Yeah. I could feel myself fading.
The picture of you is disappearing. Huh? All your family and friends just disappeared. Wonder why you were humming Johnny Be Good whilst you were walking around. Okay. So many Back to the Future references are putting in here. Also. Incidentally, Grey Sports Almanac doesn't work with this game.
No.
There's...
It's too random.
Yeah. Lola said about introducing a 250 gift cap. I mean... a cap for gifts may come back. I think there's no point saying that it won't come back, because it probably will. But if it did, then gifts would be increased as a result. There'd be more value in gifts, and that might happen down the line, or it might not. So we don't know at this stage. But I think there's a possibility you could get a limit on gifts down the line.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends upon the economy and whether or not it's a good idea that Konami devs think. But hey. Okay. When you talk about the players preferring certain positions, will this be shown or done like it is now via trial and error? This was a general question I got in the forum a while back.
This is because they actually listened to our previous podcast.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Yeah, this is. I was very pleased about that fact, actually. This will not. The players who sort of seem to do well in different formations, and who have a preferred formation or a preferred side, because sometimes people prefer play on left and right, and seem to do better on one side, and that's kind of a hint that they may prefer that side. It doesn't say, but yeah. No, this is all things that won't be expressly shown. There'll be clues in the statistics as to if a player is doing well in a specific part of the pitch, of course. However, this will be stuff that you'll have to figure out for yourself. There's a lot of stuff in the game that you'll have to figure out for yourself. And I know a lot of frustration is really from a lot of players who just don't want to do that.
No.
But there are those players that we've seen on the forum and the Facebook who have gone back and looked at these things again, and they are the ones who are reaping the benefits.
Yeah.
So it really, really would.
It's a bit sad, because I remember one person starting a thread on the forum, wanting to make a database, essentially of what players are good in what formations and on what side, but I haven't seen any activity in that.
Yeah, I can kind of understand why, though, because you've also got the problem with aging now, and aging changing, and it sort of, and because of the way the randomness of aging deterioration happens, then that player could be on any number of things now. So I can kind of see why that isn't the case, but still, if you work together, and you'll be able to determine specific players who seem to do well in specific formations.
Yeah.
Talk to other players. You'll find it eventually. Okay. Angus Cat says, will we ever get, among other things, Angus Cat mentioned, will we ever get J-League players and teams in the game? I'd love to see that.
I'd love to see that as well.
Especially J-League had its 20th anniversary. I was telling you this. J-League had its 20th anniversary the other day, and there was lots of sort of pomp and circumstance and general celebrations. And I know, because one of my friends in the video game industry, he says, like he's got loads of them. Actually, his son was one of the mascots during one of these sort of celebratory games, so that was a big thing. And the funny thing was that he did the music for a couple of the J-League games that appeared on the Sega Saturn. So that was sort of a nice coming round again. That his son then became one of the mascots for the big game. I mean those games were almost 20 years ago. Those first games, so that's nice little run around. Okay, what other questions did we have? Enzo asked. It was me actually, so I best answer this. I've also been my upcast set, I have another question. Are you still going to keep the update rate for youngsters for aging? Aging will change. I think the way that deterioration happens at the moment. Actually, I think deterioration's sort of fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just improvement.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Is different. I think improvement needs to be slightly less in general, but we need to definitely acknowledge the fact that players can improve over time. They don't hit this magical wall of 23 years old, and then it's like you have reached the entirety of your potential, and you can do you'll not get any better at all in your lifetime.
Yeah.
That needs to be sorted out. So I would imagine that this is going to change. It's one of the reasons why we've not really done an FAQ yet on this, because the fact of the matter is we really do think it will change, and possibly change very soon indeed. At which time we'll furnish you with proper details as soon as we're given them, of course.
Yeah.
So I don't think the rate will be kept
As it is now.
as it is now. No,
That doesn't mean it'll get worse.
it doesn't mean it'll get worse. In fact, it could very well be that it gets better.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll add in an extra deterioration factor when it gets to, like, I don't know, 38 or something, or 37. It starts deteriorating slightly faster. I don't know. It'll depend upon a number of factors. But as we say, Enzo, we'll get back to you and everyone else on that when we hear the news, even if there is any.
Yeah.
Okay. Dibizal. I'm assuming it's Dibizal.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it's completely wrong, Dibizal, so apologies if your name's actually Steve or something like that. But actually, I think I know what Dibizal's name is, and I don't think it is Steve. I think it's something else. But a number of questions we actually had from him. Have you trained young players with the new features of stat increases, etc.? If so, what are their names? Also, how do you go about training them, start on the bench, starting lineup, etc.? Their position in your team does not affect
how much or whether they improve.
Yeah, at least currently. I think down the line that it probably should do. But that's sort of like another big factor. And there's things we'd like in the game, I think, before we started worrying about that, like subs.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing. Oh yeah, there's been an increase in people asking us when are we going to add user substitutes into the game. Yes, of course we are at some point.
Yeah.
But just not yet, unfortunately. That'll be a big change in the game engine, I suspect. So that'll be a big thing.
And you'll need to actively watch your games.
Yeah, at the moment there is no real need to actively watch your games. I know lots of people there are people who do watch their games, and all of them naturally enough want a bonus for that. It's not entirely possible, and it's a time zone thing as well. So yeah, you'd end up like really seriously punishing people who lived in a certain time zone, which isn't right. But certainly, then there would be a slight advantage because you could do the substitutes yourself. But again, this gives you an idea actually. If you expand that and what else affects it, because it's very easy to go, oh, the game should have this. But this affects these other things, and what happens to those? That means those have to change, etc. I don't know. Have you actually Have you actually got any youngsters that you're training up at the moment, or?
I have some now, but I haven't been able to renew their contract yet.
Yeah, it's because they only grow up, if you like, when you renew their contracts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've got I think Smalling, and Welbeck, and another guy, but I forgot his name.
Is Welbeck under 23?
He's listed as 21, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's unfortunate I lost him before I could renew contracts. If only they'd brought in renew contracts earlier! So you've got those guys, and there's a big not be able to renew them. My team's a lot older.
My team has a lot of old players as well.
I mean, I think the oldest is Drogba, who's 38 or something in terms of, or at least in my game, he's 30. I can't remember if he's 38 as his actual age or not. But It's I think the youngest is around about 26. They're a more senior side, if you like. So no, I've not done that yet. I don't know if if I had a substitution. If I was doing a transfer, sorry, not substitution. I was doing a transfer, and I saw a player who might be younger, who was young enough and middle of the road average. I might consider adding them to the squad, just to see about how training them up would really work for me, and just see if it would be a long term benefit. Although I'd have to make space in my squad or unlock a squad slot, of course, so that would be another question. But yeah, no, we've not done that yet. I've not done that yet. At least not for AFC RSI, anyway. They didn't do very well last season, by the way.
They didn't?
Well, they didn't do very well in the Cup because they were in the Konami Cup last season. I think they got knocked out in the group stage. They're doing a bit better this season. I think they've not lost a game in group stage.
That's good.
We did do very well in the league and became second.
I became third.
Yeah, you came
eventually.
third. We're slowly dismantling all the other dev teams except for one. Except for one. That one team. Although actually this season I'm not doing very well at all from the start. I'm like mid-table. I think they're slightly higher.
I think they're at first again, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, the other team's first again. But you were about sort of 6th or 5th, aren't you? Currently in the league.
Currently I'm third, I think.
You're third?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was first for a long time. But then the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah. So, some insights, if you could, of how you guys personally scout for players. What do you look for, etc. Also, trial and error of formation selection to suit your style of play. So, how do we do our formations, and how do we generally look about for players when we do scouting tickets and things? So, for me, I mean, my team just really developed naturally over time. There's been a couple of occasions so far where I've had to change stuff pretty drastically, and as a result there's been a general necessity to add in various new players, and I think the big one was 2 seasons ago, where we won the PES Cup, the Rising Star Cup. So this would be the season 5 stuff, which you've not long read, I think. No, it'd be season 6 stuff.
Yeah.
No, season 6 that we won it because by that time I'd optimised everything. But the season 5, everything was going really poorly, and then I just sort of went, threw my arms up in the air and went to hell with this, and just changed everything. And I had a team that I knew wasn't very well optimised, but they were strong, but they weren't correct. So I just eased players in over time after that, and worked it that way. So it's I picked I think I'm Benfica. I think.
You're not even sure.
I'm not even sure on my formation, because I've had several over time.
Yeah.
I had Fiorentina right at the beginning for some time, and then it wasn't really working, and then I changed it to... I tried the Manchester Red formation. That didn't work in the slightest. Yeah, so as for how I scout for players, I mean, I use the tickets like the rest of you guys, and so does Natchai. I think we're probably a bit less fussy than some of you guys, to be honest, about the way we do things, because whilst it's great that if you've got somebody who's ideal for that position, at the same time, you should also be thinking, okay, well, this guy's good enough for the team. What's going on with the bench there as well?
Yeah.
And a lot of my bench guys are people who are, mid-80s, well, not even mid-80s, low 80s. But they have a range of positions that they're good in. And John O'Shea is my man for the defence because he can pretty much cover all of the defence. He's actually very good in a lot of places, and generally wherever you put him, he seems to work well. He's just one of those guys. These handymen who you can just turn to in a pinch, and everything's fine. But yeah, there's that. There's also, there's a couple of other players. So I've got an attack because I have 3 attacking midfielders and 2 centre forwards. So I've got 2 attacking midfielder / forward substitutes, and I've got one guy there who actually can cover both left and right wing. So it's just things like that, really, that I just make sure that it's covered, and that I'm absolutely making sure that I've got the most benefit out of those players and their stats. So it doesn't really matter to me essentially how strong they are in terms of their rating. I've turned down literally like 3 days ago, turned down a 92 player, and I instead bought an 83.
Because he better fit your formation, I guess.
Yeah, he had those added benefit. There was better benefits for them than it was for the other guy, and even the stronger guys. And this goes back to the formations again. Just because of the formation strength, that doesn't necessarily mean that if they're absolutely optimal, they should be absolutely optimal. It doesn't mean they play well there. Because Huntelaar, who has now left my side, he's gone. Like 88, he was much more powerful than Drogba. Statistically, he was better than Drogba. He fit the position better than Drogba. Played worse than Drogba and never scored a goal.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, put Drogba back in, boom, goals again. So obviously he just didn't work in that particular formation.
Yeah.
So how do you go about sort of scouting of players? Do you go with someone specifically in mind, or with?
I don't have like specific players in mind ever.
No.
Because I just think a player will pop up that will probably fit my formation that I may not know at all, and I'll give him a try. But I think the thing that we do different than most players is that we save up our scouting tickets and check at the end of the season. Okay, what's happening? Who's leaving? What do I need? Because I tend to see a lot of players that are buying 2 or 3 transfer lists per day.
There's a lot of the people who say, "Oh, we don't have enough scouting tickets," are the people who are trying, say, those 2 or 3 silvers a day. And we don't see that.
No, because at the moment I have like all these scouting tickets, but I'm just waiting for the end of the season, saving up all my money.
Yeah, I don't want to start spending lots of money in case I need to start thinking about contract renewals and things like that.
Exactly.
And of course, contract renewals, something that came in during the break, I think, between the last podcast and this, was that that figure will be different every day now when you log in.
Yeah.
On the contract renewal, it'll move about. It'll move up. It'll move down. It'll move side to side. But I mean, I had somebody saying, "Hey, this is like really expensive." He went up like 10k in a day. I was like, "What's going on here?" It's like, "Well, don't buy him today."
Yeah.
It's like this is like Tuesday we've had day 2 of the season. Yeah, don't buy him now. Then, for goodness' sake, wait. Wait, check him every day. If it's coming to the end of the season and if he's around that 7k, then, hey, pop in an offer and get it.
Yeah.
But if it's completely unreasonable for today, because the player's got a ridiculous set of demands, then don't agree to them.
Yeah.
If you've got the time, use it. How do you prepare for League Cup /Cup games? Do you change tactics according to opponent's formation, such as flexible or offensive, etc., or do you stick with the tried and tested tactic like most people do?
Well, I stick with the tried and tested because I'm a cup winner. It's just who I am.
Please.
Well, I've got a gallery to prove
I
it.
am a cup winner, and therefore I do not have to do anything else, for I am a proven champion among men. No, it's... I tend to have a look. I tend to know now which teams that I don't do well against normally. Mm-hmm. So there'll be ones where I know that... with their setup, I know it'll be close, and I know that it'll be close, or it'll be whatever I do, it'll be one goal either side, or a draw. I won't get absolutely thumped by them or anything. At the same time, there'll be teams that I come across where I know that I traditionally do quite badly against them, so I will have a look at their formation, and I've noted down formations that I seem to be weak against. Huh. Now, I've not had much of a chance to this season, so that's perhaps what I'm doing. So I might do the slightest of changes, or I've noted that a player got sent off last season in a match against them, or something like that happened. Now, there's a reason those things happen. So, if that guy got sent off last time, I don't know if he's going against the same player this time, because that's something that affects whether or not you get bookings or red cards. Is your player versus the opponent's player, and if you're completely outmatched, then you're more likely to get a yellow or a red card. If they're the more pressure that player is under, the more likely they are to just go and stick out a foot and bring them down, or snap off at the referee,
or bite their arms.
Yeah, or bite their arms. And heck, if that guy had problems, then I don't know if they've changed or not necessarily. Mm-hmm. I won't remember their details or their player details, but I'll remember mine. I'll remember what happened. So I may just swap him out for that particular game. Just put in that added change of something. That's what we always say, guys. If something's always happening and you're always losing, or if you know that there's something wrong there, switch it, change it, do something. But I mean, I tend to stick to the tried and tested formula as well. But that's again because a bit like you, because most of the time what I'm doing at the moment works.
Yeah. The only thing that I really pay attention to is their match ratings. For instance, I just swapped out Fabio Coentrao for a lower rated player because, I mean, okay, he had 2.5 match rating, which is fine. But the one that I had on the bench that got subbed in actually got more match rating. So I said, okay, give him a try. And he's doing really well. So it's not because you have this high-rated player that he's necessarily performing well, even if he is in the right position with the right statistics, which is something that we have to say over and over again. But this just goes to show that it's like that.
Someone, and I apologise for who it was. Oh no, it was Chelsea star, who keeps calling me Kelvin. For reasons that I can't fathom, really. Anyway, I need to know more about team mentality. Can you explain it in depth to me? What are the advantages of setting a team mentality to super offensive using man red, offensive, flexible, defensive, or super defensive? I really need to get all the help I can get with this to give me a bit of an edge during my league matches. I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Secondly, what makes players get red and yellow cards in matches? Well, we've just touched on that actually. Yeah. It's a factor. There's no hidden discipline or anything like that. There's a number of different factors, but the most obvious one is that if your player is overmatched in some regard, is more likely. So if you've got these players who keep getting sent off, it means that there's something up with the team, really, and who they're going against. So yes, player mentality. Player mentality is... It doesn't change much in the way of the end result, necessarily. You can... Obviously, the more offensive you are, the more goal chances you will get.
Yeah, the more shots you will take.
But it's sort of balanced out in the fact that the more chances you're effectively giving the opposition as well. Mm-hmm. Because you're leaving massive holes at the back of the defence. So it would be easier for... You will have more opportunities to score, but it would be easier for the defense, the other side to score. And defensive is obviously the reverse of that, in that you're giving much less chance for there to be goals scored against you, but you're kind of ignoring having shots in the first place. Flexible is just sort of normal, everyday sort of flow of the game. And so there is that, but there is also your formation. And I know that Chelsea Star's using Man Red. We drummed out of Chelsea for that, can't you? As a Chelsea fan for that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Actually, no, not really, because it's a very strong formation. If you can get it to work, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
That means you're a better manager than I, Chelsea Star, if you're getting that to work. But obvious't the formations have specifically how you've got a rating on there of how attacking and defensive they are. And how suitable those are. So there are formations which are heavy defensive or heavy attack or balanced between the two. And if you go out there with a really high attacking formation and you go offensive, you'll probably score a lot more goals. You'll probably let in a load of goals as well. That might explain my team, because that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. In that I have a skewed towards offensive formation, yeah. And it's on offensive. It's not on super offensive, but it is on offensive. And as a result, for the last couple of seasons, I've been putting in goals for fun. However, the actual goal difference isn't so good, because at the back I'm leaving massive holes in the defence, and it's been leaking like a sieve. Luckily, my defence is set up enough that obviously that's giving me some degree of protection. But even so, that it's the disadvantage is that the goal difference isn't spectacular, even though the goals scored is spectacular. I mean, I was like second in the league, and I had a goal difference that was equivalent to teams who were or the goals against total anyway, that was equivalent to those teams who were being relegated that season. So ultimately, it's the more you let in, and the total of goals can be more, and it'll appear to be a more exciting match. It'll appear to be a more exciting match for you, but the end result is sort of, I wouldn't say kind of the same, because if you're giving... It's not exactly the same, because heck, you're still leaving those holes at the back if you're going offensive, and you're still... But so the end result will still be around the same area it would be if it was flexible, but just the opportunity for it to slide one way or the other is expanded. But again, it all works with formation, and there's other factors as well. There's always other factors that we can't tell you. I know you hate the fact that we can't tell them. But goals scored for offensive goes up. Goals let in also goes up.
Yeah, and the other way around.
If you're trying for any of those specific achievements, though, if you've got a defensive formation, and you've gone super defensive, and you've got a decent defensive side, you kind of in for a chance at that.
You might get more clean sheets.
Yeah, for those other achievements. Anyway, I think that's all the questions we actually have, because that was quite a long one at the end of there. Mm-hmm. And that's a good enough time to wrap it up. Yep. What are you hoping to get this season, Natchai, in the 2022?
Well, I'm in the Konami Cup again. Although I'm not concentrating on it, I really want to get. I want to get the achievement for leading the league at the halfway point.
You know what? Last season, the set of games before the half break, I was first
And then you
in
lost.
the season. No, I drew. And it was enough. It was enough that I was put down into second on goal difference. So it shows you the little costs there.
Yeah.
And I think they're quite defensive, actually, that other team. So, see how it goes. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing how well I do in the Konami Cup this year. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a run on that. I don't expect to win it in the slightest, and do something about league. I think second's probably the highest I can really finish, but unless there's some sort of massive disaster from that team, I don't think I'm going to have much of a chance of doing anything. So yeah, bless you. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
Unless we really desperately need to do one next week, I don't think we will. But we're back in 2 weeks' time after the start of the 2021 season. And
it's never going to get old.
Yeah, but we'll see you then. So from myself, Kevin, and Natchai.
See you guys later.
See you later. Bye.